Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're playing the game Meet Your Maker and we're going to go over Brohard. It just became mastered. It's the Outpost that just recently became mastered for me. It's part of my Masters series. I do these videos just to talk about the Outpost and how it did during the life of its time out there and available to folks. Now, right now, you'll see I've got it in social, so it is available to folks. Anybody can play it now on social, but they just won't get credit. They won't get the money that you need from it. But it was still a good time, and some people found it fun. As you can see, for Brohard, it's the 46 attempts. It killed 618 raiders, and then the kill ratio was 13.4. I got 19 fun, 26 brutal, 13 ingenious, and 7 artistic. So let's just go in it real quick so I can explain to you what was going on. Now, I recently looked at the board with this map and see kind of, what some raiders did with it. There were many raiders that did this entire base with 0 deaths. And they were able to conquer it without dying at all and getting the Genmat. And then there were folks that gave up on it, pulled the ripcord after only 3 or 4 attempts. So I didn't really get a lot of people that died a lot in here. It was either someone did it with like 1 or 0 deaths, or people gave up on it after 4 deaths. So that was just the life of what this one did. Now, I put all the tombs outside and marked all the tombs. So if you're a tomb runner, this would have been the map for you. All 3 tombs were marked outside, and you could get the tombs and leave. I got a lot of those tomb runners in the life of this base. A lot of people going in, just getting the tombs and leaving, not doing the content at all. So I think that brought down my kill ratio numbers, obviously. So let's just look. I'm actually going to change my thing to a monster so I'm not crowding out the screen here. So the beginning area here is a room that I created in my first fun house. That was 30 days ago. I did a video on it. It was the 60-minute vid that I created. The first vid I created after beta, called the 60-minute build. It was called the Fun House. This is the entry room of what that was. So I just recreated it here, and it worked very well with the 4 guards in here and the incinerator trap. I've got 1 sentinel, and then I've got incinerator trap there, 1 on the floor there, and then I've got a trap here. Then I've got the impaler trap there, and then another impaler trap here, and then this bomb injector. So that really got their blood going when they first come in. And then I've got an incinerator up there, protected by this cube. So this room is very deadly. And I think if I were to look at the tombs, if I hit, I believe it's T, you look at the tombs, yeah, this place was definitely a place where people hated. There was a lot of deaths in this room. And that was really what the bread and butter of this build or this outpost was, is getting them in this room. And then the rest of it was, I took a page out of the King of the Hill map that I had made and made this hallway. This is the identical hallway that we saw on the King of the Hill map, going into a raised area. And this is very effective. As you can see, I got a lot of deaths here with the tombs. And I've got the incinerators here at an angle, and then I've got the pistons here on the ground level. And if they want to jump up, they could always jump up here to try to navigate into the room without having to deal with the pistons. It's their choice. It works very well. I mean, this setup, it works very well. And then what I did is I did a stairway, similar to King of the Hill. The King of the Hill map was more deadlier because the wider the narrow path, the more range line of sight issues. You don't have line of sight issues. When you have it this narrow, there's a lot of line of sight issues with the monsters or the guards that I put in here. So they didn't really, when the person got in here, they could clean it out a small section at a time and then make their way up to the next tier, clean this out and make their way up to the next tier, because a lot of these monsters just could not see. They can't really see down there, so because things are blocking their line of sight. But where if I made the ceiling a little higher and pushed out 2 of the walls, then I would have got in better line of sight and I would have gotten better kills. But I wanted to try the stairway approach with this one. So you just make your way up to the stairway, And we'll look at the big board there on our way back so I can show you people had done this without any issues. I put a couple warmongers here, a bouncy Betty trap here, and then the Inferno trap, and then you just come down here. I've got no second wave on this map. You just come down and you get it. And if you've cleared it up to here, you pretty much cleared it out, and then you just leave. A lot of my maps were like that. Not many second wave maps. I didn't do much with second wave. I like just hitting them in as their way in, and then they can just leave when they want to, you know, without having to worry about some sneaky trap and make them do it all over again. I want them to feel like if they got their hands on it, they're doing well. They know they can get out of my bases. I always make my bases really short. As if you've been following my channel, my bases are really short. There's not a lot length to them. I don't want people to be in my bases an hour. I try to make them as short as possible and try to get the job done. So let's just go back to the big board, or the it is in social. So let's go back to the big board so I can actually show you what I was talking about with the people who had done this. And then we'll look at the stats one last time before we button up the vid. Okay, so it's Brohard, and then we'll just scroll down. Again, it went into Master late last night. I had two go in the Master. I had Hurricane go in the Master, so I did that video first. So the first one that comes up for Brohard is a tap out or an F4, so that's that. Then we've got this person here that did it in 0 deaths and got it. They were in there 12 minutes. So that shows you it can be done. This person did it in 1 death and gave up. This person did it in 4 deaths and gave up. This person did it in 3 deaths and gave up. Then we got 2 deaths and gave up. And then we got another person who didn't die at all and got it. And they were there 17 minutes. So a lot of people just giving up early. And those people that are doing it are not dying at all. So 3 and gave up. And that's the Hurricane. And then I think the next Brohard is 2 and gave up. So a lot of people just giving up on the map without really pushing the numbers high. So that map, okay, this is, I think, a good example of co-op play where I did get a higher kills because 2 people were in there and they probably felt that they could do it with 2 people. And in both these situations for that map, they did it without a problem. It looks like they were 13 minutes, got it. This group was in there 16 minutes and got it. And I think that's fair. I think that those are fair numbers. It's just unfortunate. I got a lot of F4s, people that just hit the F4 button and just left and I got no credit. So I think that's the other reason why my raid attempts and my kill ratio is at 13. I think it would be a little higher if it actually counted those people that circumvented the ranking system and all F4'd out of my content. Well, that's it in a nutshell, folks. I wish I had more raiders than the 46. I mean, compared to some of the other mastered bases I have, 46 is what I used to get in like 8 hours back, you know, when the game first came out. And now I'm only getting 46 raiders in an entire run of the base, of the Outpost, the Sinister Lair. So there you have it. It's Brohard. It is mastered. Well, thank you for joining me, and this has been the Tarkus Zone.